Welcome to the Health Enhancement, Exercise Science, and Physical Education breakout session. If you guys have a question, I am happy to try to answer them for you. The public health program doesn't have prerequisites per se. That is the major that you identify when you start registering for classes. You can go ahead and start taking classes. Again, for some reason, I'm waiting for the PDF to pull up, and I'm going to show you. I'll share my screen quickly so you can see kind of the courses that we have. It is a 60 credit program here at Montgomery College, and it is science heavy just because it prepares students to go into a lot of different healthcare options. If you are interested in doing research, epidemiology, we've had students who decide they want to go into medicine or medical fields. So it opens up lots of opportunities for that. We also have a articulation with University of Maryland, both at College Park and at the Shady Grove campus, where if you finish our 2-year degree program at MC in public health, then you would if you have the minimum requirements from them, then you would be eligible to do their public health bachelor's degree in 2 years. So I'm going to quickly, like I said, share my screen so you can see that.
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so you have your general education classes, which include your English and Math Foundation. You have your art and humanities, and then your behavioral social sciences. And then we get into the sciences. So for general education, you would take the Bio 150, followed by the 212, 213, which is the anatomy physiology combination. And then in addition to that, you would have biology 222, which I believe is microbiology, and then 2 chemistry classes. And then in addition to all of that, we have 3 health classes that kind of introduce you to the public health side of things. Health 160 is our science and theory of health course. 225 is our health behaviors. And then the 299 is our capstone for the majors, where you do a lot with like career planning and next steps and talk about opportunities in the fields. Okay, so Susie, you sound like you're interested in maybe public health and or community health. They are closely related fields. Community health usually sets students up to go in and do careers that involve things like health education, working in the community, one-on-one with people, and tends to take the more education side of thing. As I mentioned earlier, the public health sciences does set students up if they want to go on for advanced degrees in epidemiology, the medical field, do more research, things along those lines. When we talk with our students, a lot of times when I talk about the difference between the two, they all involve working with people. It's just the health industry in and of itself. But community health, again, just as in its name, really does focus on looking at the community as a whole, whereas public health sciences tends to take a little bit more of that research side. If you have specific questions, I'm more than happy to try to answer them, but I don't know if that helps give you an overview. In the community health program, the only sciences you have for that are the biology 150 and then the anatomy and physiology classes. Yes, so most of our general education classes are available as distance learning options. The community health program in of itself is part of what's called our virtual college. So the way that course is designed is if a student was interested in taking that program completely, how do I want to say this, in an alternative form, meaning in a digital form, that is open to them. You have to be a little bit specific about which semester you take which courses, and there are a few limitations in terms of some of the electives for the program, but it can be taken as an online program. And the only reason I say kind of in an alternative form is the only class in that program that you can't take completely online is the 1 credit practicum course that you would take your last semester. And that's just because part of that course is doing 40 hours of working in a practical setting to get your experience. So that one, that's the only one that cannot be taken as an online class only. So one suggestion I'd have for you, if you're interested in kind of tipping your feet in the water and just getting started, look at taking the Health 160 or the Health 225 class. And the reason why I say that is there are requirements for both community health and for the public health program. And those give you really, the Health 160 in particular gives you a really broad outline of what the health field is all about. And it talks a lot about the pillars of health, and talks about the difference really between community health and public health. Public health is a pillar in the health field. So that is that may be a really good class if you're trying to kind of navigate the waters to figure out which would be a better direction to go in. Both community health and public health both require the Health 160 class and the Health 225. It's part of their program requirements. So
okay.
if you are not sure which one you would, which path you want to go down, I always say start with that. And the Health 160 in particular is a broad introduction on the science and theory of health. And that's where they'll really differentiate between public health and community health. And they'll even talk a little bit at that point about behavioral health, which is another option in our programs. Both the public health science program has, like I said before, an articulation. So once you finish the AA here, and I think it's a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, then you would be able to transfer over there, and you can either finish at College Park or they have a program over at University of Shady Grove. And then the community health actually has a pathway with University of Maryland. So it is not as specific as the articulation is, but most students who go over finish in 2 years. So if you guys have any other questions or if anything else comes up, feel free to email me also, and I'd be more than happy to answer questions. I hope you enjoy your evening and the rest of the week.